Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Week 7 of the Worcester Premier League. Hi, everybody. It's Stephen Marty Martinez here on this cold and rainy and rather dreary winter, almost spring day here in Worcester, Massachusetts. And wow, we have a wonderful night of darts planned ahead. Just looking at the bracket here, we have Nick Soldo taking on Joe Ricard, Mark Rudge, and Justin Burke on the streaming board. Roberto Santos and Mike Carignan, Tom Curtin and Ron Sargent, and we are here. We are at the last week of regular season play for Season 2. Can't believe that the time has gone by so fast, but everybody has everything to play for tonight. We look at the standings here. Well, there's really one person who has ran away from everybody, and that's Tom Curtin. He has been playing some phenomenal darts over the past 6 weeks, but everyone else is still very much in the running, and it's a tale of two halves. Ron Sargent, Joe Ricard, Mike Carignan, all battling it out tonight, basically trying to determine who's going to be second, third, and fourth. Nick Soldo, even if he wins, can't catch Mike Carignan, so he is going to be aiming to try and defend his fifth place spot from Justin Burke, Roberto Santos, and Mark Rudge. And there is, even though they're at the bottom of the standings, there is still a hell of a lot to play for because they're trying to avoid playing Tom Curtin in the first round. And there are no slouches at all with Ron Sargent, Joe Ricard, Mike Carignan, depending on how that shakes out. Nobody wants to play either of those guys. So really, it's a race to run away from Tom, but still, there's a lot of really good points to grab. There's still a lot of pride points, I guess, for these guys. They're not throwing bad darts by any means, but this is critical matches ahead for everybody. If we go back to the bracket, in the rematch of last week's final, we have Tom Curtin, Ron Sargent. That's going to be a fantastic game. Mark Rudge, Justin Burke, streaming game. Huge implications for whoever moves forward in this game. And then Nick Soldo, Joe Ricard. Joe obviously chasing, wanting to keep his hopes alive here for second place, trailing Ron Sargent by 2 points. But again, Ron Sargent, I don't want to say he has an easy start either. So again, a quick victory over Nick Soldo there is going to be something that Joe's going to be looking to try and accomplish. And Berto and Mike, pretty tricky game for Mike. Berto is no slouch. He's right there with all of the key stats, so that's going to be another fantastic game. Before we get back into that, though, Tom Curtin, again, Week 6 champion. This is the man that, 5th through 8th is running from. 2-0 versus Roberto Santos in the quarters. 2-1 versus Joe Ricard in the semis. A fantastic game. What a treat that was. And then 2-0 versus Ron Sargent. A lot closer of a game than the score really indicates, but able to just run away from Ron, sink that dreamboat. And again, is there anybody that's going to be able to stop this man? Not in the regular season, but who knows what can happen in the playoffs, and that's what we're going to try and shake out tonight. So if we go to the primary board here, look at these two fine specimens. Justin Burke, Mark Rudge. These guys are going to be trying to really just show each other what's what. Even though he's just warming up, those two green bits going to feel fantastic for Rudgy. So again, there's a lot to play for these gentlemen. Looks like they're getting things nice and loose, talking about their strategy, trying to not give away too much. Obviously, you don't want to waste all your good darts before the actual match starts. Just a quick note for tonight, we are only going to have this one primary board, so no secondary boards that we're going to be able to hop in on. That's okay, keeps things focused. We'll see. Looks like Rudgy's starting the PDC bull, so he hits the green bit. What can Burke do? Ooh, that red bit's just a little bit better. Fantastic dart there. So Justin Burke is going to have advantage of throw here. Hugs, pats, and all the friendliness dissipates just like that. Here we go. If you're just joining us live, this is the quarterfinal, round 1, Week 7. The Worcester Premier League, and Justin Burke is leading us off with a 24 punched in, so not the best of starts. Rudgy would look to find more of those, or at least keep it on the same plane, and he does. A big 1-3-5. Statement of intent from Mark Rudge to get things going. Solid fist bump right there given from Justin Burke. A lot of respect for that start. Don't let the 24 fool you. Justin has been playing some fantastic darts. A shake of the head. He knows that he's capable of getting off the line a lot faster than that. And Rudge just looking to do more of the same. Rudge struggled a lot in the opening weeks. Not sure if it was confidence, not sure if it was something in his throw. Caster's curse right there, of course. As soon as I bring it up, it rears its head. But he's done very, very well to really find his game in the past 2 weeks here. And he is going to be a silent threat. Hopefully a little bit of a louder threat. It's playoffs next week, but a silent threat going into not only the matches tonight, but certainly into the playoffs if he keeps this level of game going. Rudge's got a lot to offer. Not so much to show right here as both guys still trying to get their rhythm found, get their arms loosened. Burke just looking to keep things straight. A little bit of a pause there. Second dart, more of what he's trying to do. 52 is still not a bad visit. That 12, very fortunate. Rudge coming off that big 1-3-5 opener, just looking to keep things moving steadily. Not looking to get stuck any ruts or divots in the road, and that 100 is going to aid his cause quite nicely. So 196 left after 4 visits to the board. Justin still well behind. Can't find that red bit, all over it. And sometimes it just takes a couple visits just to get settled into a game. And both these guys, it's cold, it's dreary. And are we going to see a 180 from Rudge? No, the 180 would have been so nice. His eyes to the sky there, at least at Joe's ceiling. Oh, man, that would have been fantastic if you were able to see that. But as I was saying, sometimes it just takes a couple of throws, a couple of visits. In this case, hopefully not a couple of legs to get your arm really warmed up, really moving right. There's a lot of muscles in these guys' arms, and sometimes you just got to shake out any little tidbits. And can he take it out? He can! 3-dart take from Mark Rudge. Solid start from Rudge there to get things going. A little bit of an eyebrow raiser. And an immediate break from Rudge. So that is exactly what he wanted to do. Mission accomplished off of the get-go. He opens it up with a 96. So Rudge playing on a fantastic level. And Burke just trying to get things going, get those darts in the red bit just like that. And that is a great start. That's a fantastic start given that he really struggled to get off the line in the opening leg in this set. That's one of the things that Rudge is going to have to control. He's got a very, very nice throw, but sometimes he gets a little rushed. Really just ejects those darts towards the board. Burke unable to split the middle there. 55 punched in from Justin. And Rudge, again, he has a very smooth throw, but sometimes he just is a little too quick to get them into the board. Causes them to go left and right. 26 will be very disappointing, but still a lot of time here. Solid second dart. Just a little bit of a flyer on that third, but still valuable points here as Justin continues his march down to the lower part of the scoreboard here. And can he find that red bit and goes high? 60 punched in from Rudge. Keeping even, keeping close. Justin trying to really find some high-powered darts here to try and break back after getting broken immediately. Big advantage for Rudge if he can hold his throw here. Just not able to find those 20s, and that's 2 in the 1s. 17 scored. Unlucky, unfortunate. And Justin is going to take a pause, really reflect on that gift that Rudge gave him, but he's going to have to capitalize on it. That's so close. Unable to find any triples, but 44 still. Sometimes it's not about scoring big, it's just scoring enough. Leaving himself 180 after 5 visits, so he's still right there. Rudge needs a triple, you feel. Can't find it. only knocking his score down to 212. So advantage Mr. Burke here. 140 would do nicely. Unlucky there to find that top left corner of the ones. And sometimes that's just the way that the cookie crumbles. All over that triple 20 segment, the corners of the 5s and 1s, and that's going to give a lot of momentum back to Rudge here. If he can find a triple, just can't, only 60. And what could have been a easy setup shot now is a tricky 171 setup. A lot of work to do here. 151 remaining. Finds that triple 17, so 91 scored. Going to leave himself 80. And 152 is a lot of work, but Rudge finds the first. Can't find the second. Looks like it's just high. He elects to go trip 17 there. A little bit of math. I have to get my calculator ready. Even I'm asleep at the wheel here. Sorry, folks. Not sure if that 17 was intentional. Might have been a 5. Excuse me, that was a 5, so he does leave himself a very nice 36. Angle of the board there made it difficult to see. Apologies. 60 left. Single 20. Looking at tops. And he can't find the break back. Burke so close to repaying the favor. And Rudge looking to take 2 on the spin here. Going to the 9s. Oh, and there's a little bit to say about staying dedicated on that double 9. Why not just split? Burke working with 39, needs to find the split, finds the 7, 2 at double 16. And he finds it with the second, so 2 back-to-back breaks to get things going here. Holds of throw are going to be highly sought after we get into the weeds of this opening set. If you haven't tuned in before, we do have set play on offer here at the Worcester Premier League. So these guys are playing for 3 legs to clinch a set. You need 2 sets to move on. Speaking of moving on, that 47 is something that Burke is going to want to move on from. Not the best start. Opens the door for Rudge to really run away. If he can just sneak in a red or triple. Wrong segment there, so only 43. Another slow start from both guys, but keeping things moving. And there's the arm starting to get going. He's starting to find his rhythm. Solid 60 from Justin. Rudge needs to find more of those types of darts. Keep that rhythm going. Solid 100. Beautiful rhythm. Beautiful throw. Again, when both of these guys are in the rhythm, they are scary operators. They play some fantastic stuff. 2 12s there. A little bit of a curiosity. Does very well to find that third one. Keep it straight with the 20. Bit of a smirk, bit of a smile on Rudge's face. Probably thinking about triple 20s. And there's one found there. Goes back into the 1 segment. A little bit of a side quest back into that triple 20. Only to come back home to the 1s. Of course, he'll be looking to make a home into that 20 bed. Tough block there. Will he stay there? Elects to stay there. Only finding 41. And sometimes that can be so tricky to navigate through a canopy of flights there. It does very well to find that 20. And that third, just a little sloppy there, squeaking it into the trip 1s, only for 3. So 43, still relatively close after 4 visits, both guys. Justin looking to light it up here. Solid stuff. Just unlucky for that dart to land on the top wire, but 85 is exactly what it needed to leapfrog. Taking a peek at the score there, might have distracted and broken up his rhythm. Only 55 fired in, and still close enough for Justin to really go to town here. Probably going to go downstairs. Might stay. Does hit the 84, so a great correction to leave himself 140. 196 is another opportunity. He's been here before. No 180 will be found, but 100 would do quite nice. And he does find that last one in there. Solid darts. 100 is found to leave himself 96, and Burke with a big 140 will not go. But he can leave himself an easy equation if he finds one in the red. And he just can't find it. Looks like that third one clashed against the 2 in there and moved its way into the 5. So Rudge, 96, finds the first. Going to cross the 9s again. Can't find it. Keeps it outside, though. So he'll leave himself 18. And what will Justin do here? Will he go down to the 19s? Will he look to split? Let's see what the equation is. He finds the first. Again, now takes a step back. 38 remaining. Which way is he going to go? 28 left. And he's just shy of the 30. Had the first 2 parts of the equation. Wow, so close. Both guys right there. A little bit of nerves here, trying to find their way out. And Rudge working with 18. How many darts is it going to take for him to find it? Unfortunately, the answer is too many. Elects to bust. Just inside on that second one, and Justin's going to get another look. Going to have to split now. Double 2. Unfortunate. Couldn't get the air behind that dart. Busts his score there, so Rudge is going to have another look at this 18. This is a tricky double, and he finds it with the first, so Rudge jumping out to a 2 legs to 1 score here, and quite impressive 64.03 average. And Rudge has been playing phenomenally. A lot better than he was when he started his campaign a couple weeks ago. Playing some inspired darts here, just the right time. Justin looking for just more of those. Quite a high-powered score when he wants to be. It looks like it could be a 180, maybe a 135. It's a 125 and a solid open. And Rudge is forced to, well, really put up or forced to shut up here. Solid 85 answer, but still well behind the opener of Justin Burke, and Burke can really push the ball forward here. Can't find anything close to the center of that 20 segment, so 45, not too much of a runner away from Rudge, and Rudge's going to look to try and catch right back up, and that's a great start. 2 in there. Third one gets away from him. A 1-2-1 will do quite nicely, but the 180s just feel so good, don't they? We haven't seen a 180 in this match yet. Whoever is going to find it is certainly going to have a feather in their cap, and Burke, unfortunately, struggling. Only 43. Struggling downstairs. Not sure the reasoning for going down to the 19s there, but doesn't really matter in the end because Rudge doesn't fire into a big score of his own. 41 following that 43. So 288 to work with. 40. 288 to work with here. Justin would love to find a triple. Can't find it. Again, looks like the flight might have pushed it out into the 1s. So I don't want to say no pressure here, but Rudge is certainly not feeling anything on his shoulders just yet. But wants to keep things moving at a steady pace. Might go to the 18s. Might go straight in there. Elects to go straight in there and does very well to find that 100. So 114. And Justin sitting at 247. Quite a ways back. Needs to find at least 2 triples, you feel. And unfortunately, not the darts that he wants at all. Shake of the head. A little bit of frustration on display, and Rudge has the opportunity to clinch out this set. Combination won't go. 24 scored, so 90 left. Might have been going for bull there. A little bit of a curious choice. But again, no real pressure unless Burke can find something big. Needs at least 2. That's not the triple he would have wanted. So again, frustration, taking a step, taking a breath. And only 25 found, so this leg in this set might be unraveling for Justin Burke. Just the wrong time. Can't find the 14 to leave himself 40. The 45 left. Finds the 11 to leave himself 34, I'm pretty sure. Might be a math error there, unless he busted. Looks like our scoreboard is not updating. Excuse me, there it is. Looks like my calculator was off. My bad. So Mark Rudge, 3 darts at double 16. Can he make it happen? Going inside to double 8. And goes well outside. A little bit of a frightening third dart. Almost closer to hitting the 8 on the ring. And again, even 1-2-2, can't find anything helpful. So 117 finds 21. 96 left. Will leave himself 76. And Rudge, 3 more attempts here to bury this set. Doesn't want to faff about here. Wants to find it. Going up to double 4. No faffing after that first one. So that is a set in the bag for Mark Rudge. 62.34 compared to Justin's 51.57. So solid 10-point difference between these guys in the scoring. And again, Rudge really playing some inspired stuff well ways away from his opening weeks of darts, the stuff that he was putting up every single night. He's come a long way, and we absolutely love to see it. Absolutely hate to see it if you're this man right here. He wants to see more of those get fired in. A solid 100 start for Justin Burke. Puts the pressure right onto Rudge, and sometimes darts is all about pressure. You just want to tell your opponent, hey, you better start scoring big, otherwise I'm going to become a real problem if I get this train rolling. So nothing that Justin will be too worried about there. Again, just wants to keep his own game going. Looks like only 41 found. Apologies, not sure what's going on with our scoreboard here. There it updates. So 41 found there. Looks like everything's updated and going now. Not sure what's going on. We're cracking the whip on those gerbils in our computer. Really make sure they're running to keep things running smoothly here in the studio. Of course, no gerbils are harmed in the making of the WPL. Don't call PETA, please. So Rudge not able to find the triples that he wants or needs. Again, it might just be nerves. He didn't really run away with that opening set, but he did well to get out when he needed to. The pressure's all on this man right here, and, well, it's just on display in the darts. Needs to find something to keep things going. And momentum is a fickle thing. Work to your advantage sometimes, but sometimes it just tenses up your arm, tenses up your mind. One of the best things that you can do is just turn your brain off, shut up and throw. Just let your arm do the talking and the thinking. We'll see if Justin can find something to work with here. Does very well to find that third. So not a hopeless visit. A 68 is still a solid score. Rudge not too far back, wants to keep things close. And unfortunately, the scatter shot in his barrel is just finding everything but the target. I'm not sure why he would want to stay there on the 20s with that blocker. Looks like that flight is blocking the whole bed, especially with the way the dart went in. Might have been worthwhile to go downstairs to the 19s or even across the 18s there. And Rudge is trying the 19s as well. A little bit of a smile, a little bit of a smirk. Not a bad visit. Looks like 82 scored. So both guys not at outs. Advantage Justin. He can set himself up nicely here with less darts. I like that change of pace. Justin throwing a little bit slower to find that consistency that he needs to keep things straight and steady. 1-2-8 remaining is a great leave. Rudge finding a 41, so nothing stellar is going to be a big ask left for him with the 1-4-4. And 1-2-8 is not an easy customer either, but the first part is found. The second part will not be found. So 63 remaining for Mr. Burke. Going to take some time to think about it. Going at the 13s. Elects to go to the 19s. Finds a 3. Will leave himself 60. There's the first part of the 1-4-4. And the second part won't go, so both guys failing on the second part of the equation for their ton-plus checkouts. And again, another solid setup shot there, but 60 is quite gettable for Justin. 2 at tops. And he finds it with the third, so Justin is on the board here in the second set. Nice 60 take there from Mr. Burke, repping the 69 all the time. Jersey there. Absolutely love to see that. Every time you hit a 69 or he hits a 69 in a game, you can hear him yell, 69 on the board. Always love to hear that. Don't think he's actually hit a 69 in this game, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. I'll have to remind myself. Rudge looking to fill up the 19s here. Big 1-3-3 is a great start, though. No 1-7-1, but he'll take those every night of the week, including tonight. Justin under immediate pressure to follow that big visit with something big of his own. Wants to move it slightly up. Finds the wrong bed, creeps it into that trip 5. So advantage Rudge here if he can just keep this momentum going, and there's the smoothness, there's the throw. Solid stuff there with the 99. And after 2 visits, Burke needs to find something or be at risk of falling too far behind. Keep it steady. 95 is a great answer. So advantage is still going to be Rudge, but tap of the shoulder from Burke. And the 19s are just coming plentiful for Rudge. Oh! Would have loved to hit the 1-7-1 there, but another 1-3-3 will do just nicely, leaving himself 1-3-6, an absolutely great leave. Darts is a funny game because out of nowhere, both guys firing. Bombs away. 95 drop there from Justin. No out yet, but still a great chaser. 1-3-6 will not go. 80 left. 80 scored. 96 scored will leave himself 40. Solid darts there from Rudge. Great work. And unfortunately, not the follow that Burke would have wanted. But are we going to see a 13-darter from Mark Rudge here? He would absolutely love to put this away right here. 14 darts used is a great leg. Absolutely great stuff there from Rudge. Will not give Burke the look at the 170. No fishing for you. You're going to have to book a ticket on the Dreamboat Ron there if you want to go do some fishing. And again, the 19's just working for Rudge, making a real friend out of that green segment at the bottom left of the board. And as you feel like that's just the story of the game so far for Justin. Really fighting against his flights and trying to bulldoze his way through. No triples found, so a little bit of reprieve there for Burke. He's going to have to do well to keep himself focused. Take a breath and just let his arm do what he knows it's capable of. That is a great way to get back in the leg. Solid 100 found, leaving himself 380 after 2 visits. What can Rudge do from 364? No triples, so 43. And just like that, even with a bad opener, a bounce out, you're never quite out of a leg, especially if you can find those red bits. That's going to be a tough one to get around. He does very well to find it. Wow. A little bit of a trick shot. That 140 was quite difficult to find, but apparently not for Justin Burke. And again, the 19's just working for Rudge. 83. So even though the 140 puts Justin Burke in front, Rudge is still right there. But are we going to see a big 180 from Justin Burke? No, but a solid 140. Come on. The whole crowd wants to see the 180, guys. Good setups be damned. The 100 is a great leave. And Rudge needs to find a triple if he wants to keep things going, but that's not the one that he wants. Only 52 found, so 100 left for this man right here. Will he go tops? Oh, he tried it. But the 60's all that he's going to be able to find. Certainly attempted it. No shame in trying it. 2 triple visit minimum for Rudge here, and that's going to throw a giant wrench into the equation because Justin, 3 darts at tops, no pressure here. Pulls it low, so down to double 10. And all of a sudden, nothing but pressure now. Opportunity for Mark Rudge to really just steal this one away after a great scoring display from Justin Burke. Finds the first part. And he can't finish it with a double 10. Just goes wide. And 10 is tricky. A lot tougher for a customer than people realize. Now he has to split 1 or 3. Which way is he going to go? And he can't find the 1, and that dart's thrown in frustration. So another crack at 2 10s for Rudge. Will it go? Takes a step back. And he finds it? No! Pulls it inside. Right there on the wire. Wow. And 2 darts left for Justin Burke. Needs to find it, you feel. And he does. Barely pins that top right corner there. Holding it in place. Doesn't want it to fall out. And all of a sudden, Justin Burke in prime position to take this set here. Will we see a deciding set? All that Justin needs to do is hold throw, and we might just get there. That's a great start already. Only 85 fired in, so not a shabby start, but not the absolute heater that both of these guys have produced in this game so far. Rudge needs to find a triple. Can't find the right one. Burke just needs to drag it to the right. Beautiful work on the 5s. But not the work that he would have wanted to get done. So Rudge, again, opportunity to catch right back up here. Another one would be lovely. Now 100 will do just nicely. Drops his score down to 361. So right back in the mix with Justin's 366. And again, all of a sudden, the 20s scoring power has gone missing, and it's affecting Justin at the worst time. Might just be nerves. And Rudge just has to keep things steady, keep things calm. Finds the 85 there. So again, the pressure is all on Justin Burke, but you feel like he might be putting on the pressure when he doesn't need to be. The last time that you want to put pressure on yourself is when you need to get the job done. Can't find a triple to save the visits. It looks like only 45. Rudge is in a commanding position here to really force a deciding leg. Still work to be done. Finding nothing but duds in the ground here. Both guys really struggling to put up the scoring. We have seen on example goes down to the 19s. Does very well to find that trip 20 in with the 3rd dart. I will say again, in the words of Tom Curtin, if you can't win ugly, you don't deserve to win at all. And sometimes it just gets to a absolute slugfest where you're not throwing your best darts, but you just got to throw well enough to get the job done. We've seen a 14-darter in this game so far, and we're going to see a lot more used in this leg. But, again, great heart being shown there from Justin Burke to find that trip 20. 81 pushes his score down to a manageable 128, and Rudge, a lot of pressure to keep knocking his score down. Should go down. Elects to stay there, and he only finds the 1, so he's punished quite severely. We'll leave it out, but 146 is extremely awkward. 2 parts of the equation found on the 128. And he can't find the 3rd. Oh, that would have been a fantastic way to go. 108 found with those 18s, leaving himself 20. Question for Mark Rudge. He will not find the 146. But we saw the double 5 be tricky for Justin in the previous leg. Will the trouble continue, or will he find it? Just below, needs to split. Finds the 1, so down to double 2. And he finds it with the 3rd. Big take. Big grimace right there from Justin. He wanted it. He showed the emotion. We are going to a deciding set, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that emotion being displayed there from Justin Burke. He wanted that. He found it. He's giving the crowd exactly what they want, and that is a full set of games here. Week 7 opening round, round 1. Everything to play for. These points are humongous for everybody, and that 100 is going to be exactly what he would have wanted to open with. Remember, Rudge is right there with Justin. These guys are fighting to try and dodge and avoid Tom Curtin. As we get going here, looks like we'll do some score updates for the other games that are going on. So Tom Curtin is currently 1 set up on Ron Sargent. Joe Ricard is 1 set up on Nick Soldo. Obviously, we're tied here, and Mike Carignan has 2-0'd Berto Santos. So Berto at risk. We'll see how things play out here. Of course, have to see how the tiebreakers play out as well. So both these guys are playing for a lot all of a sudden. 60 found there from Justin Burke. Rudge needs to keep things moving along nicely. Needs to find at least 1 triple. Finds 1 that he needed. 95 is a solid score there to catch himself back up in this leg. But still, advantage Justin. If he can just keep his scoring steady, maybe even a 60 minimum. Critical second dart. And again, big 81 there just to keep pushing the ball forward. And I say that quite a bit, and sometimes again in cricket and in 501. Just keep on moving the ball forward. Just keep on moving the target. It'd be great if we could hit 100 plus every single time, but if you can just keep yourself out of distance, out of arm's reach of your opponent, start to get on that mental aspect of the game. That's exactly what Justin is accomplishing here. That would have been a tough visit there, but he does very well to find that trip 20 right there on the very edge, leftmost side. 82 fired in. So Rudge working with 2-2-4. Can leave himself something great, even if he just keeps it steady and straight. Would like to split. Can't find the middle of those 2 darts. Doesn't look like that was a triple. Missed the score there, unfortunately. So 93 remaining. That 19 hit will leave him 74. So probably going to go with the 14s here. Which way is he going to go? He's thinking about it. Catches a 12 there. And he catches a 20. So he will leave himself, I believe, 42. Not sure if the math worked out. He thought he left himself a 32. Making sure that my calculator is working okay. Thank you. Again, Rudge, no pressure. So Justin very, very fortunate to be able to have this chance to correct. 42 remaining. He's going to want to hit that solid Big 10. Finds the 12. Sorry, excuse me, 18. So he will leave himself 24. 2 12s needed. get out of this leg and get a real advantage on this set, and he does. He finds it. Probably the strangest way to check out 42. We have seen some showcase shots here in the Worcester Premier League, and sometimes those weird ones, those wild ones, get the job done. That's all that matters at the end of the day. Solid work, Justin Burke. He might be snickering to himself there, saying, I'm not sure how I did that, but I'm happy that I did. He's going to have to find his focus and get himself centered here with the job that has yet to be accomplished. Rudge still plenty of life here, still playing for all the marbles. And does very well to find that 100. A little bit of anger, a little bit of speed there from Rudge. Might be a little bit of frustration finding its way out into his arm. There's the intensity. There's the focus and centeredness that we wanted to see from Justin Burke. But Rudge knows that he shouldn't be down. He jumped out to a big opening set there. Does not want to lose this game. And all over that triple 20 segment. Just unfortunate. Can't find a catch of it. 60 minimum here from Justin Burke is required to keep things moving. Unlucky on that third one. A little bit of a dropper there. Not only in the 14s, but in the inner ring. So Rudge looking to keep things going on the 19s that have been so friendly to him. And sometimes this switch is not a bad idea. If things aren't working well up top, just go downstairs. Friendlier side of the board. Bit of a blocker there with that first. Electing to try and bulldoze his way through, but he finds the 60, so a bit of a curious leg here. Both guys starting at 280 now. Played 280 for a single in, double out. Can't find the 100. Only 55 scored. So what can Justin Burke do with the same equation? 140 minimum to get to an out if you're staying on the 20s. And he finds something worse than what Rudge was able to find, only a 30. So both guys making a little bit of a mess of this 280 equation. But Rudge trying to get something going. Finds that triple 20 to put 95 up on the scoreboard. Burke needs to follow. And the one is just going to be killer again. You see the frustration on display there. So Rudge all of a sudden not only has life, but has the advantage of time. Probably goes the 18s here. Chooses to go to the bull, it looks like. 90 left. Tried to leave himself 40 with the bullseye hit. Justin Burke probably going to stay there. Goes down instead. Very smart move. 99 punched in. So he will leave himself 110 to Mark's 83. So weird to call Mark Rudge Mark. Sure, everybody who knows Rudge just calls him Rudge. Sometimes I get caught up in the names here on the Dark Connect scoreboard. Justin 105 remaining, so no out after that single 5. Can only set up. So again, 45 left. That might be some more incorrect math there. 90 scored. Apologies, it's my score that's wrong. Caster math gone wrong. What's new? Looking at double 10. Can't find it, pulls it well inside. So out of nowhere, Justin is being granted an opportunity to take this out. And he finds it with the second dart. So Justin looking at 2 legs on the spin here in this deciding set. And Rudge all of a sudden under a lot of pressure to try and keep his regular season dreams alive. Does not want to join Berto in playing for tiebreakers. And who's going to face the Emperor himself? Darth Tom Curtin. And a 140 start from Justin Burke is exactly what he needs to get going. Putting Rudge under immediate and alarming pressure. Unfortunately, no triples found. Rudge is going to have to do very well to keep his head centered. Not get too down on himself. Still a lot to play. Still a long way to go. 55 is just enough to keep things moving, but not enough to really run away. And Rudge, big 180, big 140. Raises a lot of questions of Justin Burke. Now 100 will do nicely. 341 to Justin's 306. Only 20 scored here. So all of a sudden, questions and curiosities now. Rudge pondering what could be if he hits at least a ton plus. There's the first part. Does very well to find the 85. So even though Justin got onto a flyer of a start, we find ourselves right back in the middle of a battle here. And what did you expect between these two guys? Both guys playing some great stuff. Very evenly matched. And again, we've seen this from Justin before where all of a sudden the pressure ramps on and are we seeing cracks? 85, solid scoring from Rudge. And what started as a rather tough leg where he might have counted himself out, he has fought his way back. And Burke not really finding anything to pressure. Only 43 found. Well, there's the one gone. Yeah, take a moment there, Rudge. Pause. Finds that 20. That's so unlucky. But again, Justin needs to find at least a ton to really raise a few eyebrows here. Would love to find the red bit. And he does. Solid stuff. Great darts. And that is a lot of pressure on Mark Rudge. He's going to go 19s or 20s first. So no out. Will have to go down. Elects to stay and gets punished for it. A punch of the fist. And Justin with a big opportunity. 3 darts at 100. And no finish. 99 left. So 58 scored. Will leave himself 42. And he will leave himself double 16. So Mark Rudge 106 to try and save his skin. Is he going to get it done? He will not. 101 remaining. Apologies, he could have gone trip 17. Tried to go for it. Couldn't find it. And we might see Rudge's race run here. If Justin Burke can find double 16. Pulls it inside. And he busts. He can't believe it. And all of a sudden, what could have been done and dusted and set in stone, Rudge gets another visit to the plate. He will not find a setup shot, so we are going to see another crack at 32. Doesn't want to faff about, doesn't want to give Rudge any more life, needs it to go now. Outside. Even further, the nerves. And he pulls it just inside, a bite of the tongue. He can't believe it. And all of a sudden, Rudge raising an eyebrow, 49. I didn't expect to be here. Needs to pull it a little further inside. And he finds the 14. Drama here at the end. Unbelievable, both guys just not finding their target. One last chance. And he pulls it inside again. Both guys just not able to get over the line. And Rudge, what should have been done? He should have been buried. Not a bad hit, so he'll leave himself double 3. The basement. He finds his way out of the basement. Unbelievable stuff there. He a little bit of a smirk, a little bit of a laugh. Both guys. Both guys knowing that was... Well, that's what you play darts for, folks. Sometimes it just gets ugly. Sometimes you have to scrap. You have to fight. You have to kick, drag, and crawl your way out of, well, in Rudge's case, the basement. He got out of there. Fortunately, what could have been an easy, done and dusted win for Justin Burke has now turned into something where he's going to have to fight a little bit harder for it. Going to have to keep on battling. And Rudge doesn't mind scrapping it up here. Only a 45 found, a little bit unlucky there. right there in the corner. Justin Burke going to have to focus up. Just remove the previous leg from recent memory. Just wipe it clean. Erase that memory from the hard drive. And Rudge wants to keep this, well, very much front and center and wants to keep that momentum going. And unfortunately, bringing out the shotgun, blasting all sides of the board there. Not what he needs to keep his hopes alive. And again, not really pressured too heavily. Bit of a thinking man's game here again. Might just want to take an extra breath before releasing every dart. Every 20 is going to be worth its weight in gold, it seems. But the march downwards continues. It's a solid start there from Burke. Great find with the second. A solid third going down to the 19. So 99 punched in. Big bites out of the score here. And Mark, again, I do with the mark. His name is Rudge. So difficult, folks, when you look at the scoreboard. So Rudge, 340. Going to have to find some big bites of his own. Can only find the 60 to keep things moving on. So 280 remaining compared to Justin's 258. Would love a triple here. Can't find it. Looks like he finds the 45. Shake of the head. Knows that was an opportunity wasted. Rudge, if he hits a 180 here, what a leave that would be. Only finding 40. So small bites here. Electing to take nibbles instead of chomps. We'd love to find more of those. Are we going to see it? Come on, do it. Boo, you get punished. Great stuff there. Of course, we haven't seen a 180 in this match, so I'm being a little hard on Justin Burke. That was not the time to hit a 180 there. Wouldn't have made sense mathematically, but would have been great to see. So Burke doing very well to leave himself 87. Rudge working with 240. Needs to find something huge here to keep his hopes alive. Only finding the 60, and you can tell from the reaction on his face that is not enough for him. 87 remaining, 70 left. Finds the trip 10, so he has one dart at tops to seal it. And he pulls it low, looking to the side. He knows opportunity gone. And we've seen Rudge eke out a leg when given the opportunity. If you give him enough darts. Not finding anything worthwhile there. So, again, Burke, another crack at double 10 to seal this game. And he busts, pulls it into the double 12. Drama here at the end. Rudge getting opportunities is probably going to go down to the 19s. Finds the first. It looks like 110 remaining. Will not be able to go. Oh, and the pain and suffering continues for Mark Rudge. A great first start there. Wanted to go 60 double bull. Back to double 5 for Burke. And this is where the pressure is going to start getting in your head. Burke is going to have to settle down, calm himself. 89 is still a tricky ask here for Rudge. He'll leave himself 82. Won't find the trip 14. 68 remaining. Going to have to think about it. And he finds the 60, so all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Rudge sitting at 8. Burke, double 5, needed to win the game. Will he find it? 2 more attempts. Pulls it. No! More drama, more frustration. And Rudge is battling to drag this game to a last leg decider. Down to double 2. And he finds it with the second, and all of a sudden we have gone all the way. Burke letting this game slip through his fingers. Not happy about that fist bump. Knows that he had this game buried. Know that he had Rudge dead to rights. And are we going to see a different Justin Burke here try and run his way down the line? Rudge with lives that he didn't even know he had. He's well past 9. And that is a solid start there from Rudge. Justin Burke, again, has the frustration crept in, has these missed starts impacted his mental game. Going to have to display strong mental fortitude and strong mental strength to get the job done here. And Rudge with playing with lives and opportunities that he didn't even have. So again, he might feel that he's playing with, well, free darts, really. Not able to find anything really worthwhile other than the 60. Sometimes keeping it straight is more than enough. But triples are going to be worth their weight in platinum. Forget the gold. 36 fired in, so not the time to find these low-scoring visits. Burke looking to run away. And again, the nerves of these guys, they both know that it shouldn't have come down to this. They are trying to run away as fast as they can, but that is a great second there from Rudge, and the solid 100 punched in. So 254 compared to 285 of Justin Burke. That's a great start. Electing to stay there. Just kidding. His eyes are betraying me. 99 fired in. So he's not in and out yet, and Rudge needs to find a little bit over to the left. Only finds the 43. So we have seen this 3 times running now, where Justin is first to cross over into double out territory. But are we going to see him actually get over the line? Rudge still in a very good position to leave himself a rather manageable take. Probably going to go down to the 9s or 7s. Thinking about his score. Elects to stay there. Solid 100 to leave himself 111. Compared to Burke's 144. It will not go, so 140 left. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Rudge looking at a chance to seal this game. That's the first part. Needs a single 11. Finds it, one at tops to win. Oh, and he puts it just high. Oh, just high. The drama is unbelievable. Burke looking at 115, 95 left. Can't find it. It will not go. So Mark Rudge is going to have a chance out of nowhere again to seal off the game. Needs to keep it steady. And he finds it. Unbelievable game from Mark Rudge. Clinches it. Wow. What a game that went all the way. The frustration from Justin Burke is, you can believe it. You know that he's frustrated. He had 3 opportunities to bury Rudge there. He's going to walk away from this game knowing that that should have been his. But Rudge, it all comes down to getting out. And he was able to find his way out in the end repeatedly, playing with lives that he knows that he didn't have. And what a game, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be right back after a quick break for the semifinal action. Wow, what a game. See y'all very soon. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. What an absolute amazing game that we just were able to experience there on the primary board between, well, this man right here, Mark Rudge, and Justin Burke. Again, you got to feel for Justin Burke there. He had it, so many cracks at getting out and stealing that game. But, again, at the end of the day, it just comes down to, can you hit that final double? So a little bit of a standings update here before we get into the match between Joe Ricard and Mark Rudge. So this table is after the completion of last week, and the live points update is Tom. Well, he's sitting at 28 points. Well, I think 30 points now. So 30 points with the win over Ron Sargent, 2-0. So now Joe and Ron both tied at 13 points because Joe was able to get his opening game versus Nick Soldo, Then Rudge, with that win over Justin Burke, has moved himself up to 4 points, so he is tied with Nick, who did not win. Again, he lost to Joe Ricard. So a lot of moves being made. Ron Sargent not able to influence his destiny anymore. Mike, Joe, still everything to play for in the top 4 standings here. Great job again, Mark Rudge. He will be sitting in either 5th or 6th place, depending on how tiebreakers break out. But it's all going to come down to these guys. They have their destiny in their hand, getting their last round of warm-ups in before they get this match going. A little bit of a quick aside here. A little under the weather today, so if my casting and my voice cracks or if you hear some sniffles in the background, this dreary cold weather seems to have gotten the best of, well, Marty here in the studio. So don't beat me up too bad, chat. Pray for me. Just hope that I don't sneeze live on air. That would be disaster. Don't want to blow out everybody's eardrums. Big shout out to Brian. Thanks for chatting up here. Thanks for joining us in the chat. Hope your day is going well, my friend. So again, these guys getting in their final warm-ups here. Joe has consistently played, well, solid stuff over the past couple of weeks here. Joe is right behind Tom in almost every single major stats metric. After 6 weeks, he's averaging 73.14, scoring 100 plus 27% of the time. In his first 9, sitting at about 84, give or take. Again, he's part of the few that have been able to really put a lot of pressure on Tom whenever they get the chance. Hey, both him and Ron, at least recently, have been able to put a lot of pressure on Tom. Mike Carignan, no slouch either, actually took the opening night. He's the only individual that has been able to stop the Emperor in his tracks and actually win a night here. So Mike's still alive, still looking to, well, run it back here. That's on the other board. It's going to be Mike Carignan versus Tom Curtin. What a fantastic match that will be. Again, Joe Ricard looking for another rematch against Tom. I believe it was week 4. I don't think it was week 5 that he faced off against Tom in the finals. Checking my notes here. I don't think it was week 4. It was actually week 3 where we saw Joe and Tom, in the final. So a little bit of a long ways to go since that night, but probably still very fresh on the mind for Joe Ricard. He wants that back. And, well, ladies and gentlemen, I'll stop the faffing about here. We have a match underway. Excuse me. Joe Ricard, Mark Rudge, looking to get things going here. This is the semifinal here of Week 7 of Worcester Premier League. Joe wants that rematch against Tom, and Rudge wants more points on the board to potentially leapfrog Nick for 5th place and really secure his spot in the playoffs here. Joe off to a great start. Rudge looking for more 20s, looking to keep it straight. Coming off of a very tight, very close win against Rudge here. Justin Burke. God, I got to get my head set. Got so caught off guard here. And Joe, what a solid throw. Beautiful stuff there. Keeping all of his darts straight. Solid 100 fired in. Thank you, Brian, for the kind words in the chat. And we do this for everybody in the local area, so we're just happy that people watch, people get a kick out of it, people get some great entertainment. That's a great 85 fired in from Mark Rudge there. Joe looking at 96, though. 76 remaining. Will not go this time, but he can put the last bit in the equation there to leave himself 40. So 151 is a tough customer for Rudge. Will not go with that triple one. Only 41 found, so he'll leave himself 110. Joe looking at tops. Just low. Going to have to go downstairs. And he cannot find it with the third, so Rudge, after using 12 of his previous lives in the previous game, will have a chance at an out here, and he cannot find it. Pulls it well wide. So Joe looking to take out this 10. Will he split or will he go straight at it? Going to have to go down to 1 or 3. Finds the 1, so down to double 2. And maybe a little bit of early nerves. A little bit of sloppiness here from Joe Ricard. Rudge looking to go back upstairs. Double 5. Can't find it. Sparking the wire there with that third dart with how close it is. Joe getting more chances at this 4. Gonna have to go upstairs to the madhouse. And he finds it with the second, so a little bit of around the world there, around the doubles of the board. Just about nearly hitting every single one, but he does pin that double 1 there. A bit of a sarcastic smile from Joe. He knows it shouldn't have gone that far down. We are off again in leg 2 here. 55 fired in from Joe, so not a stellar start, but it will get the job done. We'll get him off the line. And are we going to see Rudge settle into this match here? Again, he has the capability to play some amazing stuff, but he really has to settle in, find his rhythm, find his game. The question is Joe going to give him the time to actually find it? Solid 100 follow. So Rudge under a lot of pressure here to put up some big numbers right there on that first one. Does very well to find that third one, splitting those 2 darts. So 100 found. We are neck and neck down the line, ladies and gentlemen. That might be a tough block. It is a tough block. And he does very well to, find the very corner of that triple 20 bed. Unbelievable that he was able to find that small little bit of space. And Rudge following with a humongous 140. Solid darts there from Rudge. Solid visit. Pressure right back onto Joe to keep things moving, keep this scoring going. And it's not found, so when push comes to shove, Rudge coming out the advantage holder here. All over that 20 bed, but again, a little bit of sloppiness, might be a little bit of lean, maybe going towards the board too quickly. Just not keeping it steady, and again, more shaky darts coming out of Joe Ricard. Not able to find anything worthwhile, only 26 found, so Rudge again, advantage in hand, needs to really push the score down here, big bites. 41 found, so 140 left. Again, Joe not on and out, so he will be able to come back. But Joe is going to work hard to push this down. Only a triple 1. Looks like he catches that trip 20 there with that third dart. 83 is indeed found. 140 left for Rudge. Finds the first part. Won't find the second, so 60 left it seems. We'll keep it straight. Oh, he busts his score. No, Rudge. You had it all lined up, buddy. Heartbreaking stuff there for Rudge. Busting the big 140. And Joe, no mercy. Doesn't even really respond to the bust. Shows more frustration and emotion, not really teeing it up. And Rudge settling back down, realizes that he got away with one there. Joe not taking out the 107. Will not go this time either. Don't hit it again. Rudge trying so hard to not fire in another trip 20. Erring on the side of caution. He finds the 5, being a little too conservative there. Joe working with tops. He can't find it. A flyer of a dart needs to settle down. You can see him telling himself that. Rudge, 55. What can he do with 55? Finds the big number. And can't find tops. Puts it just underneath. So Joe, again, another opportunity here to take out 40. Pulls it low. Goes downstairs. Finds it with the second. So Joe, not really playing stellar stuff. Rudge playing well above the first few legs that he had when he opened up versus Justin Burke. Again, that 140 bust, absolutely killer. Not too big of a demoralizing visit, though. Looks like he's still in high spirits. And Joe, just trying to keep things going, doesn't want to get bogged down here. Bit of a scoreboard update that we have for everybody tuning in. Tom Curtin has taken the opening set against Mike Carignan, firing at a 92.02 average. So, Joe, he's going to keep this going here. That is going to be some scary stuff that he has waiting for him if he does get through Mark Rudge here. Of course, we got a long way to go for that. Joe doing very well to find this 60 there. Wanted to put it in the middle, but sometimes the canopy of lights just says no. Rudge doing very well to follow with the 100 of his own. Solid stuff there. Both guys certainly finding their rhythm early here. Which is exactly what we want to see. Does very well with that little correction there. And finds two in there. A big 121 found. Solid darts from Joe Ricard. Rudge under a lot of pressure to put up a big visit. Needs to drop it low. Can't quite find it. Just pulls it a little high. So advantage back to Joe if he can find something big. Push it to a manageable out. Finds the 100, so Shanghai finish left after 4 visits to the board. Rudge still not at an out. Ton here you feel is the bare minimum. And he does find the ton, so 120 to 118. Who's going to blink first? Joe, first crack at it. We'll use it as a stellar guide. Can't find it. And he pushes it outside. Not sure why he wanted to stay there. Should have gone a little bit higher there. No take for Rudge either. 15 found, so sitting at 103 left. 83 remaining. Finds that trip 17. Leaves himself 32. Joe, all of a sudden, feels like the 75 has to go here. 73 remaining. Which way is he going to go? Only finds 19, so 54 remaining. Can only set up and hope that Rudge does not find 2 16s needed to get his name on the scoreboard here. Pulls it very high. And he can't find it with 3 all over the place. First one was the closest of the bunch. And Joe looking at 40. Joe just can't settle in, can't settle his arm down. You can tell by the way that he's reacting that something's just not quite feeling right. Going downstairs, double 2 to the madhouse. And he can't find it well low on that third dart. That attempt is going to rattle Rudge's nerves there. Nowhere close. And Joe, more darts at double 10. Can't quite find it. Pulls it inside. So this double 5 can be quite tricky. It remains rather elusive. So Rudge, again, expending so many lives. Wonder how many cats he can pull out of the bag here. And, well, unfortunate. That's a big 18. Nowhere close. He knows it. Darts thrown in frustration, unfortunately. And Joe, well, he knows that he can play solid stuff. He needs to get this out here. Pulls it just low. Going to the ones. Something about rainy nights in Worcester affecting the checkout percentage here from all these guys. Unfortunately, Rudge finds it. Double 2s never lose. takes that double two out and puts his name on the board here, but still 2 legs behind. Joe playing for the opening set. Advantage still very much in Joe's court here. It's after legs like that that are so tricky, and you expend so many darts to try and get out that nerves can be shaken, your confidence can be rattled, but these guys play so many darts where, yeah, you have one bad leg, but again, the pieces of the board reset back to 501 points, and, well, some legs we have 100-plus averages, and some legs we hit nothing but 30 averages. We just got to keep strong and play the game. That's exactly what Joe will be thinking right now. Solid 81. Rudge looking to continue knocking it down. Big bites. The 19s were very friendly. Goes around. Only firing 57. Joe finding that first one effortlessly. No 180 to be found here, but a 140 would be lovely. 100 is just fine. Rudge at a little bit of a disadvantage here. Needs to hit big if he wants to keep in this race. And only 45 found. Eyebrow raiser right there. Joe running away with this one if he can keep finding that triple 20 segment just above. Looks like he only manages to find 60, so knocking his score down to 200. Rudge 171 points back. Not able to find much of anything. Looks like the mines are running out of precious minerals, precious triple 20 stones. And Joe looking to keep things just a-chugging and moving along. 100 left after 5 visits to the board. Solid stuff there from Mr. Ricard and Rudge. Might already be thinking about the upcoming set here. Hundred's not a bad visit, so again, relying on the mistakes, though. Rudge is going to have to rely on the mistakes of Joe. Score update for everybody. Mike Carignan has lost to Tom Curtin, who finishes that game with a 96.97. If that doesn't scare anybody, you have ice in your veins, because that is frightening. 96.97 is awaiting the winner of this match. We shall see how this plays out, but Tom certainly playing on another level. He wants the final week of regular season wins, really. He wants all the points. Speaking of points, Joe working with 40, finds it with the third dart. And just like that, we have a opening set under the ledger book of Joe Ricard. Rudge only able to find one leg in there. Joe taking this one. Will have the advantage of throw here in this set, so things are going exactly to plan. Only 60 found, not a bad start. Rudge again, he's already more or less accomplished his goal for the night, and that was win the opening game. He is now well out of the bottom 2 points in the standings here. I believe are occupied by Roberto Santos and Justin Burke. So anything else that Rudge is really trying to do now is just icing on top of the cake. Joe needs the points to try and not force tiebreakers against Ron. Secure that second place spot now that Mike has dropped. So Mike is only going to get 2 points. He's going to be staying stuck at 12 points. Joe with a win here can bump himself up to 14. So Joe looking to keep things moving, wants to keep things moving, needs to find the extra point that this match will bring him. Can't find the triple 20, another 60 found. Rudge looking to do more of the same there. Will he hit the 180? And he just can't. Only a 140 found. So close. Solid darts, though. Solid visit. Joe looking to follow with a 140 of his own. If he can find it one more time, and he can. Back-to-back 140. Stellar stuff. 95. Looks like it just hit the wrong side of the wire. Still stellar darts, though. Rudge only finding 45. Joe a little far behind here, wants to keep finding these big scores. 40 is going to put him at 1-8-6. Tries to go to the 18s, it seems. Not sure where that one was going, actually. Unlucky either way, and Rudge. Not a great start to the visit. And it's that second dart's pace that has consistently been the problem for Rudge tonight, where he just forces it too quickly, pushes it out rather than really centers and steadies himself. Joe working with 2 in there, so he's going to set himself up. Wanted the single bull, leave himself 40, but a 138 is a fantastic visit. Solid darts. Surprised he doesn't go down to the 17s to try and hit the 91, but 60 will do just fine. So we're probably going to see 15, double 16 here. Looks like 7 tops. And he finds it 2-darter. Joe knows exactly what he's doing. Little pop is so critical there for Mr. Ricard. Just like that, he has 1 leg on the board here in the second set. 2 legs away from a showdown. Week 3 rematch. Week 3 finals rematch against Tom Curtin. Unlucky there on the second dart. Does very well to correct and place that third one back in the 20s. So Rudge looking to try and push the ball here. That 3 is going to do him no favors, unfortunately. Again, the frustration setting in. A little bit of a defeated look as he hits that 9. Round of 9 there for Mark Rudge. Unlucky, unfortunate. Joe not really thinking too much about the misfortune of his opponent, just looking to try and continue to extract fortune out of the board. Rudge doing very well to find that trip 20 with that third dart there. So 85, so not falling too far behind, keeping things relatively steady and close. The onus is on Joe to keep things moving. He's the pace setter of this game. Can't find a triple 20, so 60 will do just fine. And Rudge, try not to get too down on himself again. Does very well to keep things going with that single treble find. So 85 punched in. Just leapfrogged. Joe Ricard in a little bit of frustration. You could definitely tell the shoulder was playing a factor there in that throw. Nothing but 26. Only breakfast found for Mr. Ricard. I'm not sure how many places serve breakfast at 8:23 at night. I'm sure you can find a Denny's or... God, there's got to be a breakfast spot open in Worcester. Serves pancakes and some coffee, maybe some bacon and eggs. Joe will not have a second helping of breakfast here. Does very well to find himself a hundo. So he certainly have money to pay for breakfast, that previous visit. But he's still not in and out yet, and Rudge can set up here. I believe a setup is still possible with a triple. And struggling to really center his darts around that 20. Even 3 big ones seems elusive there for Rudge. 80 fired in, so 92 left. Can't find that one. That would have left him 32, but another 100, back-to-back hundreds. Great stuff from Joe. Rudge working with 1-2-1. Solid darts fired in. But is it going to be enough to put a lot of pressure on Joe Ricard? 72 is going to go at 12s. Excuse me, 16s. Getting all my predictions wrong. So 40 left. And just underneath. Unfortunate, unlucky there. My caster predictions and my caster math in shambles tonight. But I'm under the weather, so I have a little bit of excuse. No darts found there. No outfound. Flip of the bird there. Reggie, this is a family show. Got to remember that. Sorry, kids watching at home. Double 10 not found, so he's going upstairs to double 5. Finds it with the second one. Again, another pop there from Mr. Ricard. And we are looking at the verge of a 2-0 victory for Joe Ricard. He's just got to find one more leg. Push Rudge off the cliff into the stream of stampeding bison down in the valley. Will Joe accomplish that goal? We shall see in just a few moments' time here. 85 fired in. What can Rudge do in response? 100 will do just nicely. He'll add that to his pocketbook. Pocket that money. Joe under pressure to keep things moving. Steady pace. It's a great dart, great find. First one doesn't quite get the memo there. The first two understood the assignment quite well. Rudge looking to keep things moving. Another 81. Solid fired in darts. Excuse me. Solid darts fired in. Brain is a little bit jumbled today. And 60 punched in from Joe Ricard. So Mark in a little bit of a curious position here. Again, calling him Mark, not Rudge. Rudge in a curious position here. Has to keep things moving. Has to find triple. Now he's at the point where triples become a necessity, not so much a nicety. Joe in the position where he can just keep firing 60s. Hits the double bull there for a 90 score. Solid use of the center of the board there. So 145 remaining. Again, triples a requirement now to get down to an out. Needs two. Can't find it, only 85. 175 is not an out, and Joe working with 145. It will not go either, but again, we'll have at least 3 more darts. Another 60 fired in would leave himself 85. 175. Which way is Rudge going to go? 15, 160 left. Solid darts, though. Solid answer. 95 will leave him. 80 left, so Joe still under a lot of pressure, and that bounce out's going to do him absolutely no favors there. And the 2 is just a pure heartbreak. Going to be aiming at trip 17 and can't nail it. So are we going to see another 3-leg spin from Mark Rudge if he can just get this one going? Finds the tops a little too soon, going down to double 10. And not the dart that he would have wanted. So unlucky there to find tops. Just a little too early, getting a little too jumpy there. And Joe working with 66, no easy out. 56 remaining. Finds the big 16, 1 dart at tops. And just low, so we are going to see more attempts here from Mark Rudge. How many lives does this guy have? Gonna start calling him the cat if he manages to find this one. No, don't fall over the Aki there. Pull him back. And he just can't find it. Looks like his race just might be run, ladies and gentlemen. Joe needs to find 2 10s. And he does with the first dart, and that is it for our semifinal. So our final is set. Joe Ricard will be taking on Tom Curtin. What's new? Tom in the final. And again, Tom has hit 96.97 in his semifinal match against Mike Carignan. Joe, I hope you take a few moments to take a breath, get that arm nice and toasty warm, because there's going to be an absolute freight train coming for you, bud. And Rudge, well, mission accomplished for Rudge. A little bit of a cameo from Mike there looking at the scoreboard. But mission accomplished there from Rudge to secure those 2 points to put him above Berto and Justin. So great darts played from him tonight. Joe doing his job and securing second place. Not sure how the points quite exactly fall out between Mike and Ron, but I believe that the top 4 now is Tom, Joe, Ron, and Mike. And then the bottom 4, and this is, I don't know the tiebreakers, so bear with me, ladies and gentlemen, as I go to the standings here. It's either Nick, Rudge, and then Berto and Justin. But there are tiebreakers, and there's stats to pour over, so we will have to get the gerbils going, get the gerbils whirling away on their little running wheels, get the data crunched. But while that is going on, we were going to take a quick break. Be back in a few minutes for our finals between Tom Curtin and Joe Ricard. See y'all in just a few. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the finals. And what a final that we have set for everybody tonight. It is going to be Joe Ricard, Tom Curtin. And if you are just joining us now, an absolute heater of a game was fired in by Mr. Tom Curtin the previous game, averaging 96.97 against Mike Carignan. Scary, frightening stuff there. But Joe Ricard is certainly up to the task. Not firing in anything special so far tonight, but he has that game within him. I believe he only managed to average 63.58 against Mark Rudge, but Rudge not putting up too much of a tough battle there against Joe. Get the Bulls going here. Looks like it will be Tom to defend his throw to get things going for us tonight. Tom with his magical sweaters. Looks like he manages to power up whenever he wears the sweater and plays darts. Are we going to see more Tom magic tonight? Does very well to find that 100 out of the gate. And again, this is frightening level darts here. Tom very rarely leaves the board without finding at least one treble. It's almost guaranteed. Almost bet your life on it. Though I would not suggest doing that. Joe only following it with a 45. Tom firing in another triple 20. Seems to find it so easily. Only 85 scored, so not the visit that he would have liked to have had there, but still very well to move that score further down. Joe under immediate pressure here to try and find something. Can't find the triple 20 all over it. Might need a couple more throws to settle in his throw. We've seen Joe a little bit frustrated with his arm and release tonight. Might be something with the weather. Might be something going on. I don't want to speculate too much, but Tom looking the same old Tom Curtin. Throw is very steady, very stable. Just continues to march those points down to a rather reasonable take. That's more of the stuff that Joe wants to find. Finds the big 140 solid darts. Joe Ricard is right back into this game chasing Tom. Currently only able to see Tom's tail, unfortunately. Won't be getting ahead. Tom will continue to further his lead. Looks like a 140 fired in as well. Only 100, excuse me. So 156 after 4 visits to the board is stellar work. Joe needs to find another. He will not, so no out for Joe after 4. Stuck, marooned on the 180 island. Not a bad island to be stuck on, but not here, not now. No take for Tom. Chooses to stay there on the 100, so he will leave himself 56 after 5. Joe needs at least a 140 to try and put some pressure on, and it just won't go. Looks like only 40 found. Indeed it is. So Tom looking to punch out of this opening leg here. Finds the first part. And he finds the second one. A quick pop, pop. 2 darts, all that's needed for 56. Just like that, we have the opening leg in the books there for Tom. Great work there from Tom Curtin to get out and not waste too much time. Joe only able to find the 60 there. Can look at the average difference already. It's only been one leg, but 88.41. Joe not firing in a bad game at all so far with 70.17. And these are the types of visits that Joe is going to have to take advantage of if he wants to have any hope here. Tom, known to make mistakes, but not very common. Punishing Tom for his mistakes, his foolishness is what's going to be required of Joe if he wants to have a hope of trying to find his way out of this game, the victor. Tom, curious look in his face there. Easy eyes up for this visit. First one found. A curiosity turns into a smile. Only able to walk away with the 100. A little bit of a disappointed head nod there. Again, marching things at a good, solid pace. And Joe has the advantage of throw here. Needs to find something big. Does very well to find that triple 20 for the 100. Now back to you, Mr. Curtin. Finds the first one with just effortlessness. Finds 2. And looks like we do see the big 180 found from Tom Curtin. Great darts fired in there. Solid stuff. And no out for Tom, but what a leapfrog of scores that is. Timing is everything in darts, and that type of timing just can really unnerve you, and it looks like it's starting to unravel Joe. Can't find anything worthwhile there with that 28 visit. So Tom, driver's seat of this leg, looking to break Joe Ricard, working with 181. Will not be able to bust it down with too much gusto there. So it looks like only 77 scored. Indeed it is. Eyeballs are not deceiving me in this game, which is perfect. So Joe, 253. Needs to find a triple. Single one is required. Looks like he does find the 66. 85. Tom working with 104, so still very much in the driver's seat here. Finds the first 18. Is going to stay there to leave 32. Goes down to the double 16. And just wires it. Misses it by millimeters there. What a bid. What an opportunity that was for Tom Curtin and Joe's. Marooned again on 168. This is the type of difference that we've seen in darts between Tom and so many of his sacrifices here in the final. Solid 140 fired in from Joe Ricard, but he's already had a single dart out when his opponents still have quite a lot to work with, and those two are a little wide. A little bit of an overcorrection there from Tom Curtin, so all of a sudden Joe, who is defending his throw here with an opportunity to take this leg, needs to pull it inside. Finds it with the second. Great take. Great darts there from Joe Ricard. Hold throw, hold steady. Don't let the tide of pressure that is Tom Curtin wash over the ramparts there. Tom back on throw here, looking to keep things going. Again, if you are going to lose, you want to lose on the other guy's throw, so it's not going to bother him too much. That 140 is plenty of proof of that. Solid 140 start there from Tom Curtin. Joe needs to follow, needs at least 100. That's going to be a great addition to his scoreboard. 140 followed with another 140 of Joe Ricard. Great darts all around, guys. Tom under no pressure at all, but setting the pace here. Another 140 would be perfection, and he does find it. This is the type of quality stuff that we expect to see here at the WPL. Even Joe raising his eyebrows, knowing that this is quite a tough ask to follow. Finds the two. Question answered with the 180. Big darts, big follow. Joe punching it in at the right time. Tom, is he going to be rattled by that 180 visit? It's like a little bit of extra effort being punched in by those darts. 140, 140, 140 of Tom Curtin. The man is a machine. Joe, 181. And just like that, the streak just might be over. How heartbreaking would this be? Can't find a triple 20, only 55. So again, 140, 140, 140 for Tom Curtin, looking to punch out 81. Will he get it done? Finds the 57 for 24. Just goes low. And he finds it with the third, and wow, what a leg of darts that was from Tom Curtin. Incredible display of scoring prowess there. This is why his nickname unofficially is the Machine, the Emperor, whatever you want to call him. It's scary. Don't know if he would like the Boogeyman as a nickname, but looks like everybody's frightened to have Tom Curtin over and behind your shoulder when you're up at the hockey. Only 60 punched in from Joe Ricard. Average start there. Tom looking to do more damage on this red bit here. Dipping his toe in the one segment, but immediately correcting back. And two triple 20s scored. This is just unbelievable stuff. A shake of the head there from Joe. He knows that this quality is so difficult to try and follow. .45 punched in from Joe Ricard. Unfortunate. Looks like the cracks are starting to show in the foundation, and Tom standing proud, standing tall. Notice that little spin that Tom does with his darts to get his eyeball lined up perfectly with his flights. 100 punched in. Solid stuff continues. Joe forced to try and respond with 100 of his own. Goes high, can't find the drop that he needs. So Tom looking to keep this gravy train a-rolling. Goes high on the second. Will he find the third? Of course he finds the third. Why is it even a question? 140 to leave himself 140. 3 visits to the board, leaving himself 140 is incredible stuff. Joe working with 336. Needs a 180 of his own here. There's 2. And he just gets betrayed by the darts. The darts betraying him. How could they? 123 fired in. No out. Tom working with 140. Just low and just wide. So a fairly routine 140 turns into a rather complicated 100. Well, not too complicated, but the path he took was not the normal way. His navigation got a little confused and drove him into a lake. Joe working with 213, finds a 3, so 180 left. Would love to find a triple 20. Can't find it, only another single 20. So, Tom, are we going to see another pop take here? Will he go tops? And the showmanship starts. Are we going to see it? Oh, just low. Tom grimacing at that. Not only does he not want to leave the 170, but he wants to hit that for his own knowledge, his own well-being. And there's the first part of the 170 equation. Joe's going fishing. Are we going to see it? Yes, we do. We see the 170 take. Unbelievable darts there. Wow. Solid stuff. And, well, there was good reason for Tom to go tops, barely missing it. You can see how much that meant for Joe Ricard jumping up with excitement. He wanted it badly, and ladies and gentlemen, he found it. But he's going to have to settle back in, realizing that there's still work to be done here. That's a great start. Solid 100 visit there from Joe. So Joe in the curious position here, leading Tom out of the gate on Tom's throw. Tom is going to attempt to not get broken, but looks like maybe cracks are starting to show in the foundation. 43 fired in. Joe, massive advantage if he keeps the scoring going, but can't afford to have the spigot cut off. Needs to keep it flowing. Doesn't find the triple 20. You can see how much that meant. So Tom not too far behind. Can't find the triple 20 with the first one. Can't find it with the second. And he can't find it with the third. Are we starting to see the pressure get to Tom? Joe lining back up. What can he do? Needs another. Just to the side. Will he correct? Can't find the correction, but 80's not a bad visit at all. Is it going to be good enough against Tom? That's the question. First one, money. Second one, gold. And the third one, just can't find it. Disappointment abound for Tom Curtin. Joe under massive pressure, 70 minimum required to keep things even. Only 2 5s. Goes downstairs to the... Try to find the 19, but can only find the 7, so 17 scored. Heartbreak starting to settle in, and Tom, well, wind in his sails. You can hear that evil villain theme, whatever it may be, starting to get louder and louder in the background. Joe, massive opportunity wasted here if he cannot find any triples. Looks like some disappointment setting in there. It might be 81, it is 62. 2 in the single one bed. 80 left for Tom Curtin. Tried to go tops again, so the showman's still there. Does very well to leave himself 40 and under no pressure. Joe laughing, going, well, at least I got the 170 on you, bud. Working with 212, 180, 140 minimum here to try and leave himself handy. It won't go. Only 43 punched in. Not quite sure if that's an out. Let's see how the math plays out. Tom working with 140. 40. Needs 140. Both high. Tries one more. Can't find it, so pulls it low. Again, this is a family-friendly show, ladies and gentlemen. No middle fingers, please. Joe, unfortunately, no out with 169. Just trying to knock it down. We'll probably go down to the 19s. Does. Finds a 97. But Tom, Joe's going to have to rely on Tom making mistakes here. Eyeing up double 10. Outside. Outside again. Wobbles and shakes from Mr. Curtin. Joe realizing the opportunity that he has. Going to go 16s. Finds one. Can't find the second one. Heartbreak. Only 24 scored. So no out for Joe. Again, going to have to rely on Tom making mistakes. Shake of the head. He knows. 32 will leave himself 40. And Tom, 3 more cracks at double 10. He's going to want this. Outside. Outside again. Pulls it outside for the third time. The magic escaping Mr. Curtin, and it could be curtain call for Tom in this opening set here. Joe needs to focus, needs to get the funnies out. Eye up tops and nail it. Pin it, Joe. Needs to bring it a little lower. And he can't. Nerves abound. It's not every day that you can take a set on Tom Curtin and just let the opportunity escape. 3 more attempts, and it's gone. A little bit of a South Park, and it's gone. Moment for Joe Ricard there. Tom doing very well to hang in there. Find his way out of that set. What a set that was, ladies and gentlemen. I'm on a fast track to lose my voice, and we are jumping right back into set 2 here. No breaks. Only gas here as Joe looks to eye up a big 1-2-5 visit to the board. Solid start. Tom might be just trying to copy-paste the 1-2-5. He will fail in that task. Can only find 45, so a good couple of points off. Joe, no slouch, finding his rhythm in this game. And, man, we are seeing that extra gear. We are living for it. That 170 take from Joe in the previous set was just fantastic. The 85 will do just nicely. 291 after 2 visits to the board is great stuff from Joe. Tom needs to get his motor running here. Needs at least 1 more to catch back up. Can't find it, so he'll leave himself 356. Still a couple of points behind, and Joe, again, Tom's in the background, chasing you down. Cannot afford to give him the opportunity to catch back up. Needs to keep it going. Solid 100, 85 maybe. 85 fired in from Joe. Tom, 150 points behind, working with 356. Finding that triple 20, needs to stay there. Looks like he goes into the trip 5 maybe. 140 scored, I'm incorrect. So right there, right behind Joe. Joe has been running and working hard to try and escape the clutches of Mr. Curtin. Only a 60 found, so he will be in out territory, but not by much. And the rate that Tom Curtin is scoring, we might see a better setup shot here. See what he can do. There's 1 triple found. And a 140 will leave himself, I believe, 56. 76, wrong way, excuse me. And that one is just heartbreak abound for Joe again. Needs to correct. Tries to go for the trip 15. Only 76 scored. So Tom working with 76. A little bit of tricky. Needs to find the first one. He does. Not tricky for him. 2 8s needed. And he finds it with 2. A pop take there. Tom, 1 leg on the board in this second set. Marching his way to a 2-0 victory, but still needs 2 more legs to get the job done. Joe needs to start finding that extra gear above his extra gear if he wants to try and match Tom, who's just starting to put it into overdrive here. Not with this visit, only 45. Looks like some friendly banter going on between everybody downstairs. Love to see it. Joe needs to find a triple. Can't find it. Can only find the triple one. 28 is not a great start. Tripping over your tennis shoes off the starting gun. Tom looking to try and bash his way into that red bit. Can't find it. Goes over instead. So a little bit of a reprieve there for Joe, but he needs to get scoring now if he wants any hope in that one. Well, big wrenches into the machine. Finds the 81, does very well to find that third dart saver. Great work there. Tom eyeing up and sizing up this red bit. Finds one in there. Can he put another? Of course he can. 140. Once he finds it, he stays there every time. Joe working with 392. Needs to find something big. That's a great start. Can't find a second one in there, so only 100. Staying within reach, but not enough to grab hold of Tom. Tom looking to continue his march further down the scoreboard. All over that triple 20 segment. He finds it with the third. Again, he doesn't have to explore long. He always gets there. Red bit marks the spot. Tom always seems to find it. Joe looking for it as well. Can he find it? Needs at least 100. Does find the 100. Very solid work there. 192 compared to 146. Tom, no mercy. But a little bit of mercy actually found for Joe with that one. So 21 scored. Goes to correct with the 57. Unbelievable corrections there. Didn't even spend too much time eyeballing that trip 19 switch. Just nails it. Joe working with nothing but a setup shot here. Needs to keep it steady. Can't find the trip. So 132 remaining. Tom working with 68. Finds the first dart. 2 4s. Goes down to double 2s. They never lose. And indeed, they do never lose. Tom Curtin needed an extra dart to get there, but he does get there in the end. Averaging an 85.35 over both of these sets so far. And Joe, 75.61. No slouch at all. Again, what can you do if the guy just doesn't miss? Joe hoping to raise a few questions there, but again, the 170 take in the previous set was required, absolutely needed, and he was off of a bit of showmanship from Tom Curtin, who tried to go double-double, got punished for it. But if you're forced to do 170s against this man right here in order to try and steal a leg or two, frightening stuff. Tom finding the true trip 20s again. The terror. Somebody stop this man, please. His reign of terror is just becoming too much. Joe trying to respond with a 180. Are we going to see it? I think we are. Is that a 180 there fired in? It is a 180. Solid stuff there from Joe Ricard. Doing a little bit of a celebration downstairs. And are we going to see an immediate follow from Tom Curtin? No, we will not. Fires in another 2 triple 20 visit, though. Tom doesn't matter. Not going for the style points, not going for the showmanship award, just marching his way down the board with solid darts. Joe doing very well to find that 81. Asking questions of Tom. Creaking his way into the trip 1, not finding the trip 20 with his second. And again, that is the weird and probably hard way to get 26. So Tom stopping at a diner, getting some bacon and eggs, maybe a cup of coffee. Joe giving him a bunch of grief for it. Again, what else can you do other than have a good time against a machine? Try and put a little bit of humor into that programming. Joe looking to get his score down. Again, looks like the Chuckle Hut that they're playing darts at tonight. Nothing but giggles and laughs downstairs. 60 fired in from Joe Ricard. First 2 and out, but Tom well on his heels there. 63 scored, and again, Tom probably yelling at someone to be quiet. Don't make me laugh. 83 scored, so something's got to be going on down there. Both guys laughing up a storm. What can Joe do with working with 130? That's a great start. 70 left. Finds 2. Is he going to go for the double 5? And he just fires it too high. What a bid that was. What a take that could have been. Forced to go for those shots, and Tom, working with 1-4-4, finds the first part of the equation. Finds the second part, looking at double 12. And he just puts it wide. So both guys, good chances at ton-plus outs. Both guys failing at the first crack. And Joe burying it with that first dart there. So a 16-darter from Joe Ricard. Great stuff. Tom realizes that he's going to have to continue to work hard to bury Joe, who's playing with a lot of heart, playing with a lot of soul tonight. Not going down easy. Another 100 solid start there from Tom Curtin. Joe looking to just continue this march on, trying to keep up. So scrappy with his darts. Wants another. And he can't find it, only 95, so a tap on the shoulder right there. But Joe is still remaining behind. Tom looking to defend here. March his way to an easy victory, and if he can just hold throw. Does very well with that correction. Looks like another 1-2-5. Might be 1-3-5. It is a 1-2-5 fired in. So again, back-to-back 100-plus starts there from Tom. 41 fired in from Joe. Timing is everything in darts, and that timing is so unfortunate. Looking to correct downstairs just a little bit. Goes a little too far. Finds it, splits the difference so seamlessly with the 100 fired in. Joe needs a 180, a 140 minimum, you feel. Almost trips over the Aki there. Does very well to not fall on his face. Good save there. And finds the 140, so solid visit. Responds to the call. Tom, no out, working with 176. A 140 here would leave him 36. Oh, my goodness. Don't hit the 80. Don't hit the 180. Eyes up, 16, leaves himself 40. And are we going to see this race run for another night of Tom Curtin dominance here? Joe looking to just try and punch above his weight here. Just try and get a few hits in. Can't find that bull. Tom, the Emperor, the evil villain, the madman. Eyes up tops. Can he find it? Goes high. Goes a little bit lower, and he finds it. What a game that was between Tom and Joe. That first set, something special. Back and forth battle there all the way to the end in that first set, and Tom just finding it, finding that extra gear on top of some already insane stuff. Looks like all the guys looking at the stats there. Can't believe it. Again, Tom Curtin, the machine, programmed at Dart Connect level 5,000. A little bit of a rounding error by the programmers. He is refusing to get knocked down to Dart Connect level 50 that he was originally intended to be set at. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, regular season play is over. So what a fantastic night that we've had. Running through the matches again, Joe Ricard took out Nick Soldo 2-0. Mark Rudge in a stellar game, back and forth, spending so many lives. His new nickname might just be the Cat. Taking out Justin Burke 2-1, Mike Carignan 2-0ing Roberto Santos, and Tom Curtin 2-0ing Ron Sargent. A rematch of last week's final. Semifinals tonight, Joe Ricard took out Mark Rudge 2-0. Tom Curtin took out Mike Carignan 2-0. And then this final that we just witnessed here, Tom taking the night 2-0 over Joe Ricard in that first set. Wow, what a fantastic game that was with Joe with the big 170. Have not seen one of those on stream just yet. That was the first that we've had of Season 2 on stream. So glad that we got it. This is last week's champion, but just changed that 6 to a 7. It's the same man, nothing new. Tom Curtin securing first in the standings quite a while ago, but things have played out quite differently. And if I look over my potential standings on my little notebook here, I believe that these standings are now, oh my goodness, I believe I actually just lost them, unfortunately. Don't know where they went in my notebook. But I believe the standings are now Tom, Joe, Ron, Mike, depending on tiebreakers. Nick and Rudge are tied for 5th or 6th. And then in the bottom 2, it's Berto and Rudge. So we're going to have to force our little gerbils that we have in our computers to crunch the numbers, crunch data, work overtime tonight. We'll get those stats and final playoff positions crunched and we're ready for you guys in a couple of hours here. But again, if we go down to the primary board one more time, looks like they're all just talking up a storm there. Again, let me go to the Marty cam here. Howdy, folks. Thanks for tuning in tonight. What a night of action that was. So excited that we got the 170. That was so cool to see. What a fantastic time that we've had. Again, thanks for tuning in and hanging out with us over these past 7 weeks. Can't believe that the 7 weeks have gone by that quickly, that fast. We have nothing but playoff action ahead of us in 1 week's time here. It's going to be a fantastic, very fun time. Again, thanks for hanging out with all of us, and thanks for hanging in there with me. Fighting a little bit of a head cold, a little bit of a sore throat. Don't know what it is. So sick and tired of this cold winter weather. It's supposed to be spring. It's supposed to be grilling time. But if there's one thing for certain, it will be playoff time next week. We'll see you then. Thank you very much, and have a good night. Bye-bye.